High school was a weird time. With all the people graduating, I have been looking back at my own high school experience, and I've been kind of evaluating it from a higher up lens to see what I did well, what I potentially could have improved on, and I've always been a proponent of learning from other people's mistakes. So here are my huge, big, gigantic mistakes that I made in high school and then in kind of my 20s up until now that I think everybody can learn from, because I think this is a huge mistake that's super obvious, but it's only obvious once it's actually pointed out. And no, this is not going to be one of those videos where people are looking back at their high school and they're like, I wish I had more fun, or like, I wish I didn't care about what other people thought of me. No, realistically, this video is for the people that actually want to get things done, that actually want to move ahead in life, because in your teens, in your 20s, that's when you have the most amount of energy in your entire life. And so this is the time for you to actually set yourself up for the rest of your life. And guys, everything that I'm about to say is my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with it, if you disagree with it. Did I miss something that you think is very important? Again, let me know in the comments down below. So the big, gigantic mistake that I made in high school was I didn't use the objectives and skills mindset, or the mindset where you look at objectives, you look at what you want, and then you look at what skills do I actually need to cultivate to get those objectives. And now you're probably a little bit confused as to like, oh yeah, that's just like setting goals. Yes, it is, but it's more about actually evaluating goals, because everyone tells you to set goals, and I had my goals, but I didn't really know how to achieve them. And so that's where this skills mindset comes from. It's not just about the objectives, it's also about the skills. Because what this really allows you to do is it basically counteracts the whole, oh, I'm just kind of doing my thing, I'm just kind of floating about, which is what I did in high school. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to be a professor, oh, I kind of want to do this, instead of, here's what I need to do, here are the skills that I need, or the certifications that I need to actually get to that position, get to that profession, get to that objective, and then actually getting to that objective using those skills that you're cultivating. So I'm not actually going to focus on the objectives part of this, because that's just goal setting. Honestly, there are plenty of really good videos on goal setting, and so you should just watch one of those, and I'm not going to bore you with that. But in terms of skills, I have outlined the 4 major skills that I wish I had learned in high school, because these skills allow you to kind of build a foundation upon which you can essentially build the rest of your success on. And the first one of these is social skills. Now you're probably wondering like, oh, well, isn't that just like going, having fun, having a large social circle? Well, yeah, sort of, but actually learning to socialize, actually learning to get along with people. In high school, I was pretty antisocial, I was pretty introverted, so like I really didn't go out and make friends. I had an established friend group, and I kind of just stuck with them, not really branching out and making other friends, whereas I really should have gone and befriended as many people as I possibly could, just to gain the skills of making friends, of kind of having that light talk, of really mastering being a social person, because ultimately this is a really important skill to master, mostly because even though you can be good at other things, say you're a really good programmer, you still have to kind of sell yourself, and you still have to work with other programmers very, very likely. Unless you're a solo person that somehow is able to get a lot of clients, you realistically will have to master this skill at one point in time, or else you're just never gonna reach your full potential. So I do encourage you, go to the parties. Honestly, I should have gone to more parties. Not to drink, but to be able to be in parties and to be able to be in that environment comfortable in that environment and ultimately kind of thriving and being able to make friends in that environment. Again, I was really closed off. I mostly focused on my grades. I mostly focused on school, whereas I really should have focused more on the social skills aspect of high school, because ultimately this is probably the best time in your life to build this. Not only because this is a fundamental skill, but because you just have the abundance of social interactions right there, very available for you. The second thing, and again, this is one of those fundamental skills, is being able to learn. But like actually being able to learn. As in not just being able to sit down and memorize something, but actually learn why that thing is happening, why that phenomenon is happening, and really get into the habit of being a lifelong learner. Because take me, for instance. I am studying molecular biology in school, but meanwhile, I'm also studying cameras. Arguably, I'm at this point in time pretty good at cameras. Like, I know a lot about them, and yet I've never had any formal training. I've had to be a learner outside of being taught to actually master, or at least begin to master, camera skills. And that has come in handy in more than one area of my life. At this point, I can take a skill, I can break that down into sub-skills, and I can master those in a fraction of the time that other people can. And this has allowed me to really get ahead of the competition. It's allowed me to be able to design websites relatively easily. It's allowed me to learn copywriting fairly quickly, which I've actually been able to make a bit of money on. It's allowed me to do a lot of things that otherwise I would not have been able to do, because in about a week I can get relatively good at whatever skill that I want to get good at. And I think that is huge. So really being able to sit down and figuring out how you learn, not just memorizing information, but really conceptualizing it. The next one, this is gonna sound a little bit weird, but it's being able to be uncomfortable. Being able to be uncomfortable in situations like, for instance, that party. It's being able to go outside of your comfort zone and being able to kind of get over that initial, I don't like this, and just kind of go with the flow. Because yes, during high school, it's very, very easy to shelter yourself. It's very easy to just be closed off in your own little spare, group of friends and not really have to interact with other people or not really have to put yourself out there to say, get a job or something like that. But if you're able to every day do something that actually makes you somewhat uncomfortable, I'm not saying like do something that's stupid, but I'm saying, say, go to Starbucks and ask for 10% off. I've done that, and I've actually gotten 10% off a few times, but it is so uncomfortable. But now I'm able to do other things. For instance, I'm able to call my clients, and I'm able to actually have clients and be able to interact with them in a more professional manner, because over the last 4 years, I've cultivated this ability to be uncomfortable and to get over being uncomfortable. And I've left the best for last, and that is being okay with delayed gratification. This kind of is tied in with being uncomfortable, but I think that this deserves a category all on its own, because this is the thing that separates the winners from the losers. It separates the people that actually get what they want out of life versus the people that are just kind of going with whatever they want and in the end become kind of miserable and very regretful. So let's take a look at something that I did. I, for a very long time, instead of something like going to the gym and eating healthy, which is delayed gratification because at least at first you really don't like the gym too much, or at least I really did not like the gym. Instead of going to the gym and taking that delayed gratification and making my body better, I would, eat McDonald's and, eat the brownies. And because I was younger, it didn't really matter because I had a fast metabolism. But it started to slow down and I really started to see myself getting a little bit plump. Now, I don't want to shame anyone, but I, for my values, would prefer to go to the gym rather than eat the brownie. Because when you eat the brownie, you get immediate gratification. It's immediate dopamine. But you're sacrificing so much down the line because that brownie is full of sugars and other things that are not good for you. So it's gonna slow you down mentally and physically, and it might make you a little bit plump. And which ultimately I don't think will make you happy. So yes, in the immediate term, it will make you more happy than going to the gym and getting a sweat on. But 6 months to a year down the line, you're gonna be so much more glad to actually have gone to the gym versus eating that brownie. And this applies to every area of your life. You know, you can slack off and watch a YouTube video right now, or you can study. You can go to the bar with the buds, or you can work on your company, or you can work on your YouTube channel, which is delayed gratification. You can go, hang out with your friends, have a beer, and just feel good for the moment being. Or you can actually, in your 20s, sacrifice some of that, not have fun, because honestly, these videos, they are fun to plan, but actually executing them isn't the most enjoyable thing for me for right now, because I don't have a lot of gratification posting these videos. However, I know that in the future, this should, in theory, make a lot of sense, and this should, in theory, be able to get me to the place where I want to get to. It's very much delayed gratification, but it will be worth it in the end. And so, do you agree with what I just said? Do you disagree with what I just said? That is great. I want to know your opinion. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought. And if you've made it this far, please do consider hitting that subscribe button, because I'm on my journey to become the best me that I can possibly become, and I strongly invite you to join me on this journey, because together we can do so much more than any of us could do alone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.